Audio check 1 2 3. 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 Hi everyone, a very good morning and good evening to one and all. Welcome to SAP UI5 Fiori online demo session. So here I'm Srinivas. I will be give you the trainings on SAP UI5 and Fiori course on behalf of techie training. So I will be going to today's session will introduce you what is exactly the course content we are delivering in this course, as well as I will be going to give you the brief knowledge about what is SAP Fiori and what is SAP UI5, what is the architecture do we have in high level to get into the SAP UI5 and Fiori technology, and then what are different ways of application development or possibilities are there. So that all that I will be going to give you the knowledge in the today's session. So before getting into the demo session, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Srinivas. I've been in the certification 3 years ago, and I have been provided various online trainings and various corporate trainings, as well as I've been conducting various SAP UI5 Fiori as well as HANA modeling, various SAP concepts I've been delivering, as well as I've been delivering non-SAP technologies trainings as well. So here I've been holding a various skill set where into SAP I've been having a knowledge with SAP ABAP, SAP OData, SAP Fiori, SAP UI5, SAP HANA modeling, SAP HANA administration, and SAP Fiori here configurations. I will be going to having all of this SAP knowledge, as well as in non-SAP I've been holding various technologies skill set. Here I've been having knowledge with HTML5, JavaScript, as well as Bootstrap, AngularJS, jQuery, Ajax. So these are the various non-SAP skill set also I've been holding. I've been started with a non-SAP developer, and then I've been moved to SAP area. So now here I will be going to give you the knowledge about the very first here with the course content. What is the course content we've been offering to to each participant get into the SAP UI5 Fiori technology. So before even getting into the course content, I will be here will promise you all that whenever you've been complete this course, you will be definitely having the at least 1.6 years of experience on this SAP UI5 in Fiori technology. I will be going to give you here the course content, even I have a design, even I will be going to give you the knowledge for each participant, since from the business requirement gathering to till the go live to participant each here activities I will be going to cover here. The very first requirement how we will be going to getting into this SAP UI5 Fiori development. Then after what are different channels are we have for the developing this SAP UI5 applications, what are different SAP landscapes are available, as well as I will be going to give you here how to install the client specific channels, which is Eclipse or HANA Studio, or even SAP Web ID Personal Edition, SAP Web ID Cloud Edition, SAP Cloud Connector. So these are all installations how to manage that I will be going to give you the knowledge, as well as then after developing the application, various tools are available today. SAP Build, SAP we have providing SAP Web ID inside itself. There's a drag and drop option to design the user interface. That knowledge also I will be covered in this course. Once the application development is being completed, we require to create the backend SAP OData services in order to access any kind of data inside of the SAP UI5 application. There is a technology which we have to to develop in order to communicating to the SAP's or non-SAP's data, wherein to particular to SAP's data to access, we have a here a technology is being provided by SAP is called SAP OData services. These are the SAP OData services are web services. These web services how to create on top of your app program or on top of your DDS structure of S11 tables or structures, how to create this SAP OData services. I will be going to give you the knowledge, and then after the communication between UI5 and these OData services, the data binding, how to apply into the UI5 applications I will provide. And then after deployment, then after configuring the application into the Fiori Launchpad, then after standard applications, how to configure, that all I will be going to cover in this course content. And even various transports we will be going to use in this technology in order to drive. There will be, we will use purpose requests as well as we will use customized requests. So how these are need to be organized way to move into our SAP landscape also I will be going to cover in this course content. If you can have a look on my course content, the very first here I will be going to give you the knowledge with starting with introduction the SAP UI5 and SAP Fiori. What is exactly SAP UI5? What is SAP Fiori? How we have a relation between SAP UI5 and Fiori that we will be going to talk during on our first lesson. And then after, we need to understand about the user experience strategy. In generally, what is the SAP user experience? How this SAP is related to this user experience. When it comes into SAP Fiori, how it is related to this user experience, we will talk about during the lesson. In lesson 3, we need to set up the environment. As I've been introduced it, in order to create any SAP UI5 application, we require to make sure our system to be able to create an application. In order to make your system to be educated here, we need to provide various tools with a name called Eclipse, either with the Oxygen or Photon, or we need to use Web ID Cloud Edition or Web ID Personal Edition. Eclipse and HANA Studio both are same, so that is the reason I haven't added as an extra item instead of this environment setup for the HANA Studio. So here I will be going to give you the knowledge about how to install this Eclipse, how to install SAP Web ID Cloud, how to install SAP Web ID Personal Edition. That all I will be going to cover in the lesson 3. Once environment is ready, we need to start to create an application. In order to create a UI5 application, every participant, it is mandatory to have some set of prerequisite knowledge of the skill set called web technology. What is exactly web? How this web it is being introduced with the technologies like languages called HTML5. What is HTML5? What is a cascading style sheet? How to use HTML program? How to apply further beautification with a cascading style sheet, CSS? That I will be going to talk during on the lesson 4. Where here we need to have a very basic knowledge about HTML and CSS, but it is mandatory to you all to have a JavaScript knowledge. JavaScript is it is mandatory to each participant to have in order to drive SAP UI5 application development. We will be going to see how JavaScript will be plays a major role during the UI5 application development. So in order to have that particular development to drive in a smooth way, we need to hold the JavaScript knowledge. So that JavaScript complete knowledge I will be going to provide in this course content. Whatever the level of knowledge it is needed for the development of SAP UI5 applications, that knowledge completely I will be going to provide during on the lesson 4 on the JavaScript. So JavaScript, I will give you the various concepts. I will give you the various assignments. I will be going to give you the various important provided the advanced the part of development of the JavaScript. Then after we need to have a basic knowledge about what is a jQuery framework, how it is being used in the SAP UI5, how to use in generally jQuery. That I will be going to cover you in the lesson 4. Well, then after we'll talk about Ajax. So it is a part of the JavaScript. In generally, what actually Ajax technology will do, that we will talk during on the lesson 4. Once if you've been holding the prerequisite skill set of this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then after only we will be going to start SAP UI5 application development. So here, in order to create any SAP UI5 application, every web technology is follows some set of design principles. There's a one design principle here with a name called MVC. This model, view, controller in generally what it describes. Then after in terms of SAP UI5, how this MVC architecture is being introduced, what different types of models are offered by SAP UI5, what different types of ways we can create a views, how a controller will be get communicates with your model and view or view to model, that we will talk during on the lesson 5. So here in the among of the MVC architecture, each that we have a controller, a model, a view. The controller is the kernel part. The kernel part of the MVC architecture will be completely developed by a JavaScript. So in order to drive this SAP UI5 application development, the JavaScript, it is a mandatory. So that we will be covering in our course content during on the lesson 4. Then lesson 6, we'll talk about SAP UI5 basics. In order to create your SAP UI5 application, what actually the knowledge is needed in a general way, that what actually control, what control has properties, what control has aggregations, what control has methods, how different controls are offered by SAP. Each control which is being provided in the SAP UI5 library, that we will walk through and we'll understand about the each control, and then after we'll try to implement same set of behavior which is given in the SAP UI5 samples, and then after we'll get into the actual development. So here that we will be going to cover in the during on the lesson 6. So then after we will be going to navigate into the data binding. So far all the mock user interfaces we will develop. Then after coming into the data binding, I will be introduce you a JSON model, OData model, resource model. Where JSON model we will be going to hold the a mock data. We are coming to the OData model, will hold generally the SAP's data, or even SAP auditor service or non-SAP auditor service, how to present into the UI5 application, I will be going to cover during on the lesson 5. Where lesson 6, every business will be have a demanding on the topic called create, read, update and delete operations. How to achieve the creation operation during on the UI5 application development, on a read, on update, on delete, all these operations how to achieve from the UI5 application to the till your SAP table, whatever that it is required, that I will be going to knowledge will give you on the lesson 7. Where lesson 8, in order to complete your CRUD operations, wherever you say from the UI5 application create, that create same method, it is required to develop under the SAP system with a name called SAP OData service. How to create this SAP OData service, or how to configure this SAP OData service, that we will talk during on the lesson 8. Where lesson 9, I will be going to give you the knowledge about various controls. Today, SAP is being growing in a day-to-day, which each control is been introducing in each version. When I started the development of the SAP UI5 application, there was the version with a called 1.16. When you see today, the version of SAP UI5, it is been grown into 1.63. So here from the 1.16 to 1.63 is so much of controls are too many introduced controls in the SAP UI5 framework. In generally, what are the major controls are there? What are the major categories are there for the each UI5 application? Often controls whatever it is there, that I will be going to cover during on the lesson 9. Once application is developed, our immediate job is, so far whatever the application we will develop, that it is Eclipse or that it is HANA Studio or that it is your web ID, everything it is called as a your standalone environment. So here each application, whatever the channel through it is you've been developed, that we need to deploy the application to our SAP server. How to deploy this application to our SAP server, that we will talk during on the lesson 10. So deployment part we will be going to discuss during on the lesson 10. What different types of ways you can deploy, how that application will get communicates into your SAP server, that we will talk during on the lesson 10. Where lesson 11, Once application is being deployed into your SAP server, it is mandatory to access by the end user. You need to provide a Fiori Launchpad. What is a Fiori Launchpad? How this UI5 application will be part of your Fiori Launchpad? That we will talk during on the lesson 11. Where lesson 12, I will be going to give you the knowledge about Fiori guidelines. Today here, in order to create any SAP Fiori application, already SAP has developed too many different set of type of applications by SAP. All such applications here, in order to to follow by custom developers also, they have been provided some set of guidelines. What are those guidelines? That I will be going to talk during on the lesson 12. When lesson 13, I will talk about component. So in the Fiori guidelines, in the best practices, we will be going to see a very often, very common source is called component. What is this component? What the job of the component, that we will talk during on the lesson 13. Then after, the major part of the development is navigation. Every UI5 application, you may consider one or more scripts. In order to here data communicate between one view to another view, we need to perform a navigation. So how to achieve the navigation, that we will talk during on the lesson 14. With lesson 15, sometimes we need to navigate from one SAP UI5 application to another SAP UI5 application, from custom application to standard application, from standard application to custom application. If you want to do a cross navigation, how to achieve this navigation is cross navigation we'll talk about during the lesson 15. Various standard SAP UI5 applications, how to communicate one page, that we will talk during on the lesson 15. With lesson 16, SAP UI5 core topic, it is called formatter. For example, whenever we have some set of data, in order to communicate into your UI5 application, we can directly map it to the view. But before loading the data into view, if you want to format, for example, removing the leading zeros, or changing the date format, or changing the currency value. In such cases, if you want to achieve some set of formattings, we will be going to talk about during on the lesson 16. And then after, we have a fragments. So every UI5 application, in order to make a simplified, in order to make a readable, in order to make a reusability, we have a concept called fragments. So that I will be going to talk during on the lesson 17. Where lesson 18, we'll talk about responsive controls. Various responsive controls are available. That all responsive controls we will be going to we will explore during on the lesson 18. So that I will be going to give you the knowledge during on the lesson 18. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I haven't share my screen. Okay, thank you, thank you. So this is where I've been communicating the lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5, lesson 6. These are the the lessons I've been communicating. I thought I have to share my screen. I'm so sorry for that. Thank you for letting you in between. These are lesson 5 to lesson 18 I've been communicated. And lesson 19 is a way we will be going to start here about the standard applications. Definitely I will take your instructions, Bhavani. Thank you. So here we will be going to communicate about steps to achieve the configuration of the standard Fiori applications. Today SAP is being providing a standard set of applications. The count of it was initially 3 digit to today it is being navigated to 4 and 5 digit set of applications. So here, how to we need to configure each standard application. What is the principles we have to follow? What are the steps we have to achieve? That we will talk during on the lesson 19. Where lesson 20, I will talk about enhancing the each standard Fiori application. What is the roadmap it is available? How to we need to place that particular activity in our application, that I will talk during on the lesson 20. Where lesson 21, I will be going to give you the knowledge about Fiori certification details. I believe most of participants will have a plan of after completion of this, course, definitely they will be happy to to give an exam of the Fiori. So here, in order to give the Fiori certification, this course content along, you need to go through some set of documents. What set of documents you have to walk through, that each document I will be going to share, as well as in order to get the Fiori certification, what all SAP Fiori certification, SAP's labeled materials you all needed, that I will be going to give you during on this course. And I will tell you how to even after completion of this course, how to walk through the materials. I will be going to provide the knowledge after at the end of the sessions, as well as I will be going to help you to highlighting your resume with 1.6 years of experience with this course. What that you need to present your project, what the roles you need to add, and what are the responsibilities that you will be have in this project with UI5 application development. That all I will be going to provide during on the end of my lectures. And if you needed more customized any other activities in between, we will have a interactive session. You people can have address your queries, and I will be going to clear all your queries with your required with inputs, as well as we'll have a screen share sessions with your system, with your environment through also. I will be going to clarify your all queries. So this is about my course content. If you any of the participants, if you have any queries on my course content or my demo of the today, you people address each your query at the end of the session. I will be going to unmute you all, and you can raise your query, or else parallelly you can type your queries in the chat window. At the end of the session, I will walk through each query and I will answer your each query with the resolution. Okay. So here, let's be getting into our agenda of the today's demo session. So here, today I will be going to give you high level knowledge about what is a user experience strategy. So what is SAP Fiori user experience strategy? And then after, what are design principles we have? Today, in order to develop any SAP UI5 application or introducing the any SAP Fiori application to the customer, they have some set of design principles. What are these design principles? I will talk during in this today's lecture. And then after, SAP is introducing the each Fiori application with the different app types. So what is applications? What different types of SAP Fiori applications are there, that I will talk during in this today's demo session. In high level, I will give you during on the demo, but later on, getting into the actual sessions, each topic I will cover with with a sufficient knowledge, and we'll have a practical experience of each one. And then after, architecture. How high levelly this SAP UI5 architecture it is there, that we will walk through in this today's demo session, and implementations overview and application development. So this is all I will be going to cover in this today's lecture. So let's be getting into the SAP user experience. Even before getting into the SAP UI5 Fiori, I'm getting into the called SAP user experience. If you all can see, today, all the world it is being moved so far when you compare with SAP scripts. Today, in order to access any of business applications, every business it is been providing accessibility for each end user with possibility of mobile phone, as well as they have various gadgets called tablets. With the tablet also, they have been given a compatibility to access their business applications, as well as various desktops we can have. So we will be going to have a various desktops. Each desktop is having with each resolution. So how this applications today giving a responsive behavior, that all we have today in the you can experience as a user experience. So today we will be going to give an each application which have a experience with a various customer types. There you can give a compatibility with a larger desktop customer. You can provide a compatibility with a smaller laptop customer, and you've been providing a accessibility with the customer who've been accessing on their tablets, or if you have a customer with same application to access on their mobile phone. So today, the technology in order to introduce mobile phones are not having a single platform. Today we have a reputed two native platforms of Android and iOS. In order to provide mobile application compatibility, they have to provide a compatibility with a Android device. They have to give a compatibility with a iOS device. So here, whenever they want to develop any application in generally over the all the worldwide, so they've been developing each set of application which can have a compatible with various customer device types. So even SAP also want to do same set of user experience. But here, in order to perform such user experience to introduce, they have to build each participant. If customer from the, if it is a Android device customer, they have to build Android application. If they're customer from the iOS device, they have to build the iOS application. If they are launching from the desktop, they have to build a web application. If they are loading again tablet also comes with Android iOS, they have to give again Android iOS compatible applications. For each module, if they start to develop each set of application with the various devices compatible, that it will be a infinite count. So they cannot make sure the business to be launched for each module, for each customer, different type of device. So here they have had a look on already existing customers in non-SAP, how they have been providing these such business applications is by using of HTML5. So there is a language with a name called HTML5 that it is providing a responsive behavior. Each single application will give a compatible irrespective of it is a desktop or laptop or tablet or even your mobile phone from the Android or iOS. So they have taken this HTML5 and they have started using that HTML5 to build the various SAP's business applications and then started introducing the responsive applications. So here they reformed this particular activity they have provided, that it is a user experience generally to provide. So we need a technology. So here generally user experience is that it is how an end user will access the experience, that we will call it is as a user experience. So today user experience to in order to provide, they have to satisfy the user wherever they've been launching the application. In order to launch the user experience, the strategy is being part of divided into three areas, that is we call as a three design principles. One is a technology. So what technology you've been using in order to provide the best user experience, and then after business. So if you've been using a technology that doesn't make sense, it is needed also how you've been simplified the business in order to access to the end user. So here technology and business are the key part of the user experience. And then after the values, you need to place the human values in your user experience. Then only the particular user experience you will be going to achieve it. So here user experience is being generally designed with the three principles. One is what technology we've been using, how we simplify the business, as well as how we've been provided the human values in the user experience, that is comes into the user experience strategy. When coming into the SAP's user experience strategy, they've been divided into three major principles. One is a new, other one is a renew, and third one is a empower. During the new, they've been creating a new set of business applications. They're providing a new user productivity and they're reducing the complexity of the existing applications. So that is the way the new is being introduced. During in this new, they will create various new set of applications. And then coming to the renew. So here already existing the business, whatever through it is been driving through the existing ABAP transactions or ABAP programs, those are been started modified. How these ABAP programs can be accessible in each desktop user, or each way that it is to be accessible to a single system that they have been started providing with a renew. All these are the task oriented applications. Today we will be it is started providing accessibility without having SAP log on. Through getting into that, you can access applications through a Fiori Launchpad. So that is where the renew as concept has come. So here even various business requirements will be experienced when you're getting into this SAP UI5 application development is existing ABAP program converting into SAP UI5, or existing WebDim Pro program converting into SAP UI5. Here, SAP haven't provided any accelerators in order to convert directly your ABAP program to SAP Fiori application or WebDim Pro application into SAP Fiori application. Here we need to modify the user experience. So that is the reason that it is called as a renew. And then we have empower. So I want to to custom application. I want to, according to my business, if I want to introduce, that's called as a empower. So here, according to my business, I will customize according to my business an application. Then here, the very first we need to discover the business. So what type of business we want to simplify according to our client specific, that we will be discover. Then after we'll design, and then we'll deliver. So here we have three phases for the empower. The one is discover, and then after we need to design, and then after we need to deliver. So with this way, the SAP user experience strategy, it has been playing a major role during on your UI5 or Fiori to introducing to the each customer. So here, even this SAP Fiori user experience, how it is being they have been addressing to the clients are, the Fiori is an application which will have a compatible, it will be loads without failing application into the larger desktops, smaller desktops, as well as it will be loads an application during on your tablet, as well as this application will loads on your mobile phone, irrespective of tablet or mobile platforms. Also the Fiori applications will have a compatible. So that is the first. Here we have an advantage. It is being started introducing to the client within a benefit of this SAP Fiori user experience. And second thing is, in order to access all these SAP Fiori applications, they have been introduced a Fiori Launchpad. The Fiori Launchpad is the single platform in order to access your Fiori applications, standard Fiori applications, or custom Fiori applications, or even your ABAP transaction codes, or your ABAP programs, or even a WebDim Pro programs also to access. They have introduced a Fiori Launchpad. So that is they've been addressing as a second benefit of your Fiori user experience. And the third thing is they've been providing personalization. So in this SAP Fiori, they can personalize according to the way they want to load the applications. They can change their required theme, and they can change the order of the execution of the application, and they can create their custom group to access the each UI5 Fiori application. So that is completely provided a personalization. And then after here, this Fiori Launchpad will not be same for the every customer. It will be vary from each customer to another customer based on the user, whatever the role they have. According to that only they can load their applications. So it is a completely a role-based applications. So all the role-based applications are being considered as here as a fourth benefit. So the first benefit is it is responsive. Second benefit it will be going to give you the Fiori Launchpad as a single platform to load the each set of Fiori applications, whether it's a standard or whether it's a custom or whether it's a WebDim Pro or whether it's a ABAP transaction code. Anything can be accessed through the Fiori Launchpad. So that is the second benefit. And the third, here it is, we have providing with a personalization. You can do personalization according to on your way. So as per the user, they can change the theme, or they can change the order of the tiles, or they can change the the own create the groups, as well as they can perform creating their own group and adding the each application. And then they have been providing the role based. The role based is you can call it as a fourth benefit, because the role based is will be going to a dynamic user experience for the each user. Every user having with their roles, that application will launch. So it will not be same for the one user to another user. So it will be dynamic Fiori Launchpad. So that is, you can consider this as a fourth benefit. And here the another thing is that this Fiori Launchpad will be a very easy to understand. It is a responsive and it's a simple to access. So these are being addressing as a Fiori user experience. So where this Fiori term is being introduced is, the Fiori is generally an italic code which describes a collection of beautiful flowers. SAP is been correlating each flower is here. It is a SAP UI5 application. That UI5 application, in order to introduce to the customer, they've been named it is a Fiori application. Fiori is in a business term where to introducing the UI5 technology based through developed applications. So here it is a UI5 is a technology. It is conceived from HTML5. So there is have been introduced in the today's session that in order to achieve a responsive behavior, there is a language of HTML5 in the non-SAP. Already they have been practicing in order to make sure the business to accessible in each different devices, so that it is been you can experience with HTML5. From that HTML5, SAP has been taken and they have conceived a technology with a name called SAP UI5. Whatever the SAP UI5 through application it is developed, that application it is named as a to introducing the business called Fiori application. So here there is certain differences you can see from the custom UI5 application to a standard Fiori application, that I will talk more detailed way during in our actual course when I've been introduced the UI5 application development tag. So what that it is differences, that it is actually comes to the Fiori design guidelines, Fiori design principles. So I will talk about that more detailed difference. We have a very slight difference between Fiori to UI5 that I will talk during on our actual sessions. So more getting into here. So more getting into in this, we have here it is Fiori Launchpad. So the Fiori Launchpad is a launching page for the each user accessing the various set of standard SAP UI5 applications or custom UI5 applications, or even the ABAP transaction codes, or even WebDim Pro applications, or any URL based applications. Today they want to make the user experience they want to provide as a very common for each module for each user. So that is the reason the Fiori Launchpad is being introduced in our SAP. So this Fiori Launchpad, as I've been given you in the before in the slide, that it is will load the all set of applications, and it is have a compatibility with will be loads with each device, as well as this is a completely role based. According to the user role only, the applications will be executes in the Fiori Launchpad. Otherwise, you won't even see that time itself into the Fiori Launchpad. So what is this time? So whatever in this slide, you can have the user screenshot of that Fiori Launchpad. Whatever you can see in the square boxes, the square boxes are being addressed as a Fiori Launchpad of the tile. So the tiles are actually will have a navigation with a targeting to the each type of applications of your Fiori, or the standard of the custom UI5 application or standard of the UI5 application, as well as your ABAP transaction code or WebTeam Pro. So the tile is the one to will be like have with the role. That role, if you have, this tile will loads. So this tile if loaded, then after it will target your required application will execute. So this is like the Fiori Launchpad. So this Fiori Launchpad, it is complete customizable. You can change the complete theme, and you can like change this order of the execution, and you can create your own group. There you can see logistics SD, logistics MM, like that. You can create some my home, such kind of like you can create your custom groups to in order to like your often executing tiles. So then after this is the complete like the Fiori Launchpad is responsive. It will be load in everywhere, and even this Fiori Launchpad we can like customize more in a way that it is also compatible. They have been provided any developer, if they want to like to extend this Fiori Launchpad behavior, they can like change with the, they have been provided API. With that also we can change this complete Fiori Launchpad, as well as the way the theming, they have been provided theming for this Fiori Launchpad. With that you can change the complete behavior with your own colors, with your own background images, with your own SAP logos in place, your company's logos, that everything you can do the customization. That will be a part of the theming. So that is also I will cover you in this course content, so that you will be going to have experience about theming, how to achieve, how that it is simplifies, how that it is make like client requirement satisfaction, that we will be going to understand during in this theming. So this Fiori Launchpad is having the compatibility of extendability and theming. It will be like accessibility various URL based applications, and it is has a such. So in this Fiori Launchpad we have a search. That search will be take you into the immediate time whenever you want to like to load in particular like the particular application. If you're like Fiori Launchpad has hundreds, or if your Fiori Launchpad has 2-digit number of applications, if you're unable to scroll more down to find the application, we have here search. With the search you can like search the quick application required, as well as the personalization. As I mentioned, you can like change the order, or you can change like whatever the way you want it, and it is supports every platform. If you've been loading in your even you guys like can have a look on your mobile devices right at the moment. All the participants can have a look on your mobile phone. If you've been using an Android user, you can navigate to the App Store. If you're using an iOS device, navigate to the, if you're Android, a Play Store. If you're like an iOS user, navigate to the App Store, and there inside give a search with a Fiori. So you will find a Fiori client. So that you just install in your mobile phone. There inside you will find a demo. So that demo through you can experience how this Fiori Launchpad is there, how each UI5 application is loading. So what like user experience it is there inside, you can experience through your mobile phone itself. So here with the same Fiori client through, you can also your SAP's standard like Fiori Launchpad also we can access. How to access that, what information we need to provide, so what like configurations we need to maintain to access this application through mobile phone, that I will talk during on our following lectures. So but at the moment, if you want to experience of this Fiori Launchpad, you can install on your mobile phone. If you've been using as an Android user, as I mentioned, navigate to the Play Store and type a search called Fiori client, and then install. After the Fiori client, you will have a Fiori demo. If you click on the demo, you will experience various styles, and you will see the various applications. Similar way for the iOS user. If you're an iOS user, navigate to the App Store, type a Fiori client, install that, and you will experience with the demo the same experience. So here in the both you will have the same thing, but that it is been wrapped according to the Android with the Android platform, with the iOS it's an iOS platform. So that's the platform compatible we have from this Fiori Launchpad. So then after we'll understand about the Fiori principles. The Fiori principles, whatever the benefits which have been spoken in the first and second slides, that all like together it is being provided as a principles. The principles is one is a role based. Already we spoke about what is a role based. so that it is like itself will give you a dynamic user experience according to the based on the user and each user participants. So based on the roles, the applications will load. So that is the reason it is called as a role based. And the third one is responsive. From the beginning itself, I'm been addressing the benefit of this SAP UI5 and Fiori is it is will be accessible in each various devices in various platforms. So that it is itself called as a responsive. And third one is simple. So here it is follows. Here it is follows actually the principle called. So here we have in this you can understand about 113. So for one user, for one use case, the maximum 3 screens we will develop. So that is the reason it is called as a simple. So the UI experience in the strategists, they have say that it is a 113. The 113 is here it is addressing in the simplest way. For the one user will have one use case and you will have the maximum 3 screens to load the each UI5 application. So with the way that it is will be readable for the any type of the user, whether they have been educated users or whether they have been even set of non skilled laborers or unskilled labor, anybody can understand this Fiori application. That is the reason that it is being addressed as a simple. And then we have here it is a coherent. So here earlier we've been experiencing various nature of the applications. So when you've been loading the WebDim Pro, when you're loading the ABAP classical reports, when you've been loading the some set of another module pool applications like that, the end user have different navigations, different experiences of the applications. But when now it comes for all the modules, for all the users, now it is a common platform that it is a Fiori, the common accessible, it is a Fiori Launchpad. That way it is being provides the seamless experience. So that way also the Fiori is been following the benefit into the inside of this technology, and as well as delightful. So each application with their colors, with their icons, with their the controls, it is been having an emotional attachment into the user experiences. So in order to do that, it is also to provide, they have this added as one of the principle. The Fiori principles are, the one is a role based, another one is responsive, and third one is simple, and fourth is a coherent, and fifth one is a delightful. With this all principles, the SAP UI5 Fiori is being introduced and it is being moving out into the customer. So next here we have so if you can see the role based, I have just given simple understanding for what is a role based. Today how the applications are accessible. We've been creating one simple transaction code that the same different participants will access. Now when it is coming into the Fiori, for the each participant, for the each the end user roll through, we are developing a different set of applications. That way it is being exposing the various way that complete user experience. So earlier we have a complexity, we have to understanding the each screen. When it comes into the Fiori, it is been more simple and it is a more readable. And today we can see various navigations from one application to another application with a different user experiences. But when coming into the SAP Fiori, the same participant, if you've been accessing a various set of applications as well, they can experience the same Fiori experience. So that is the reason also the Fiori is being more actively started introducing the every client in their businesses. So here we have the Fiori app types. High levelly, the Fiori application types are being introduced as a transactional, as an analytical, as a actions. So here, transactional applications will have all the task-based data. For example, a leave data, for example, sales data, for example, some timesheet data. So all that you can have the transactional applications. In order to load the each transaction application, we can have our SAP system mapped with a HANA database, or SAP system mapped with a Oracle database, or SAP system is mapped with a any of the database. That transaction applications will load without failing. But coming to the analytical and fact sheets, it is mandatory to our SAP system. An EC system is mapped with our database called SAP HANA database. Why analytical and fact sheet has to be required as a mandatory to access HANA database is analytical applications inside. We will be going to see a large set of data. It is being presenting in the form of various charts. So here, such a large data to access in a single shot, we require to have a row-based type of reading, the column-based type of reading, as well as it has a good indexing. So with respect to that, analytical applications, it is mandatory to have a SAP HANA database. Fact sheets also will search on your complete on your system. Whenever you've been searching something in the Fiori inside, that search will take you into the each fact sheet application. So here, that particular search keyword will search into entire in your SAP tables, and will be getting into that particular required information. So in order to to perform such kind of a search as well, it is also need to be have a column based search. With respect to that it is been also been addressed as a SAP HANA database to be mandatory. So here, this way, the applications of the Fiori is being introduced in the SAP's Fiori library. So they have three different types of applications: transactional, analytical, and fact sheets. We'll getting into the more knowledge into the high architectures of this each type of Fiori applications in our following lectures. I will talk about more transactional, how to to implement custom transaction application or existing standard application, how to to use it, as well as what is analytical application, how analytical application to implement, what controls are there, what is a fact sheet, how to configure the fact sheet. That all we'll talk about during our following lectures. And here, the Fiori apps, even if you all are interested to navigate understanding the Fiori types, you can have a look on the Fiori tab types, or be getting into the URL called Fiori apps library. Whenever you navigate into this Fiori apps library, you will be going to see all set of Fiori applications. So this Fiori apps library will give you the knowledge about what is the standard application, what installation components are required, how to configure, how to use the application. That complete description will be provided in this Fiori apps library. So this Fiori apps library under, you will have various filters to filter out according to SAP business suite what type of applications are being provided by the SAP, that you can have a look on this from the Fiori apps library. I will walk through in the following lectures how to access this Fiori apps library through the Fiori application, how to to configure that application steps are required, that we will walk through in our following lectures. And here we have the next thing is Fiori, here we have an architecture. So what is the Fiori architecture? The Fiori architecture, if you can see, so the Fiori is applications, all applications will accessible either from your mobile phone, either from your tablet, or either from your desktop or laptop. So here that it is will be connected to the internet, and each device inside it will load the SAP UI5 HTML5 application. So there is you need no installations, and here it is just needed to access the URL. If it is a mobile, you need to install the Fiori client. So from that, whenever you be addressing with a URL, that URL will take you into your SAP server. Instead of SAP server, there's a web dispatcher. The web dispatcher will take your HTTP request. From that web dispatcher, through HTTP request will take, and that request will be through the application on demand, it will load. While loading the application, if it is accessing any data internally in the application, it will navigate to your SAP business suite. According to your data, it will access the data and it will populate into your UI5 application. So here we have three layers from the client and we have a from the client to the URL through from the SAP server inside web dispatcher through. It will take your request in the Fiori front-end server, and that it will load the UI5 application. While loading the UI5 application, if you need any data from your SAP system tables, that Fiori front-end server will communicate to the SAP backend server of your ABAP server or your CRM server or your various SAP server. It will get communicate to, in order to communicate from your Fiori front-end server to your SAP backend server. There is a trusted RFC. The system alias will be maintained. From the trusted RFC system alias through, it will communicate to the correspondence SAP's ABAP server, and then it will needed data it will read and it will present into the UI5 application. More high level, we'll walk through this we'll walk through this understanding the architecture in our following lectures. So that is where we have all the way. So that is completely it is being understanding the architecture. So more about things we'll talk in the later on the sessions. So when coming into the application development, in order to do the application development, it is we will be going to walk through on SAP SDK. So this is the area you will be going to have a knowledge on what is SAP UI5, what developers guide us there, and how to use the explorer available of the SAP sample screens, and what is the API of the SAP UI5, and what demo applications are there, what icons are there, what controls are there, and the complete knowledge about the SAP UI5 client application development interface. We're getting into this SAP UI5 HANA on demand.com. I will walk through on our next lectures about this SAP UI5 HANA.com and what is there inside, how to understand the each segment that we will walk getting into the in our following lectures. So here the UI5 application development, in order to perform, the major channels are SAP Web IDE, Eclipse and HANA Studio. SAP Web IDE is a licensed edition. It will comes with so many features that it will be place your application development is easier. You will find the drag and drop, you will find the code assistance, you will find the versioning, you will find the various templates. All the way the SAP Web IDE will simplify the developer role and developer job, and it will give you the a prudent kind of application. We're coming into the Eclipse and HANA Studio, as these both environments are the free license editions. So here everything we have to develop from the scratch to till the making application to be initiated. So everything we have to develop on our own in Eclipse and HANA Studio. So here SAP Web IDE, how to use it, Eclipse how to use, HANA Studio how to use. I will talk during on our lectures how to install these systems, how to place the actual required components inside, how to install that required plugins. Everything I will talk in our lectures. In the next lectures, I will talk about the installations of the each this tool, and we'll do a hello world application from the each environment. So here, if you've been finding some set of difficulties in order to install these tools on your machine, here Techie is been providing a remote desktop. In that remote desktop, you will have all each environments, as well as however, in order to access the SAP data, SAP Fiori Launchpad, we need a SAP server. So that SAP server also you will find in the remote desktop. So here, in order to understanding the a complete application development, I also will navigate to this remote desktop, and I will create the applications. So here, you people has to communicate to the techie how to take the subscription of that remote desktop, that they will be going to highlight you, and they will be going to give you the right roadmap getting into that. Okay, so if you have any queries on this things, you can communicate to the Kalyan team. Kalyan team will help you on this what the remote desktop it is there, and what course if you have queries, so they will be going to address you that all your queries. However, for this demo, if you all have any queries, you also can put your queries in the chat window. I will walk through your queries, or else you can raise your hand. I will unmute you and I will take your query and I will provide you that appropriate resolutions. And here another information is, in order to complete this course we need a max 30 hours. Within 30 hours we will deliver this complete course and we will make you all as a experienced into this technology. So that is for sure. With this course content you will all will do a required provided assignments, and according to that assignments you can confirm on your own that you've been getting into this technology and you've been experienced into the technology. Okay, so any questions from anyone? Now it is a time to queries. Anyone have any queries? You can raise your hand and you can raise your queries, or else you can type your queries in the chat window. Bhavani, you have any queries?
Yeah, so this is a demo session, right?
Yes, it's a complete demo session. So tomorrow
Because
onwards
some of my colleagues, they didn't receive the email.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Techie will take care of about it. So we will have actual sessions from tomorrow. Okay, the session 1 we will start on tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, session 1 is going to be tomorrow. Okay, got it. So you mentioned Monday to Saturday it's going to be, or Monday to Friday?
Monday to Friday. Initially I will have Monday to Friday on based on the timelines. If it is needed I will go through on Saturdays as well. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Saturday I don't think most of them won't be available. But
Okay.
based on the priority we'll check.
That's true. That is why I will do it. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, one concern is when you are taking a class, can you talk slowly so that everybody will follow it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I will do that practice. No worries.
Yeah, that's the concern I have. So I'll let them know tomorrow they'll be receiving a session 1 link.
And even you can send their emails to the techie in the chat window. They will read their emails and they will send you according to the they will send you all the session 1 links to them. Okay?
They already have, because they registered online, right? So I hope they already have their email ID.
Fine then. If it is then, that's fine then. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks, Srini.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you.
Yeah. Nikhil, you have any queries? Nikhil Nair. Ikho, you have any queries? Okay, thank you, Nair.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, thank you all. So we'll communicate in the next lectures, and we'll getting into the next topics. Thank you all. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye bye.